These are the 5.2 notes for PreCalc. We are going to be talking about graphing inverses today. So on Monday, we talked about what inverses are, and today we're going to graph them. So on Monday, we learned that each inverse is going to take an XY pair and change it to a YX pair. So it's just going to switch the X and the Y. If we have a graph, we are going to take each of the points on the graph and we are going to switch them. So I'm going to start with this top point here, 6, 8. I'm going to need to graph the point 8, 6. 1, 4 becomes 4, 1. Negative 2, 3 becomes 3, negative 2. Notice I'm not changing any of the signs as I switch them. Negative 1, negative 4. And negative 4, negative 5. And I'm just going to plot each of these points carefully. Over 8 and up 6. Over 4, up 1. Over 3, down 2. Left 1 and down 4. And left 4 and down 5. Because the original graph is connected, I'm going to go ahead and connect each of my points here. And you'll notice that the black graph is a mirror image of the pink graph. And it's always going to be a reflection over this line, y equals x. You don't have to draw that every time. I just wanted to draw it in the first time so you can see that it's like reflecting over the y equals x line. For example number 2, remember that f to the negative 1 just means inverse. This time they did not give us each of the points, so our first job will be to name all of our points. So I'll start with this one over here. That one is going to be negative 3, 6. Negative 3, 6. This one right here, negative 2, 1. This third point right here, negative 1, negative 2. And then we have this bottom point. The vertex of the parabola would be 0, negative 3. Go along the other side, 1, negative 2. This point here, 2, 1. And this last point here, 3, 6. So we're going to take each one of these XY points and we are going to change them into YX points. So this will become 6, negative 3. This will become 1, negative 2. Negative 2, negative 1. Negative 3, 0. Negative 2, 1. 1, 2. And 6, 3. It's very important here that you do not try to guess what this shape looks like. Just graph each of the points until you get the full parabola. 6, negative 3. Be right there. 1, negative 2. Negative 2, negative 1. Negative 3, 0. Negative 2, 1. 1, 2. And 6, 3. Once all of them are graphed, you can see how this creates a parabola that looks like it's been tilted on its side. Okay. For example 3, it's actually asking us to graph the original and then graph the inverse. So this is just going to help us remember what some of these graphs look like. So f of x equals 2x plus 3. This is a line. Y equals mx plus b is going to be a line. We know that. And I'm just going to graph this line. I'm going to put a 2 over 1 to represent my slope. I'm going to go up 3. And then my slope up 2 and forward 1. Up 2 and forward 1. And I'm going to go down 2 and backwards 1 just to get one more point over to the side. Graph the line. Now what we'll do is we'll take each of those points, name them, and then plot them on my other graph. So you could do that off to the side, or you could do it right on the graph. It's up to you. We'll do this first one right on the graph, see what happens. This first point right here looks like it is 2, 7. This point looks like it is 1, 5. Here I have 0, 3. And over there I have -1, 1. When it's time for me to graph my inverse, I'm just going to switch those. So I'm going to start by graphing the point 7, 2. Over 7, up 2. You could write these over here if you wanted to, or you can write them right on the graph. It's up to you. Or you could not write them at all. That's okay too. 5, 1. Right there, 5, 1. Or again, you can write it right here. 0, 3 becomes 3, 0. And -1, 1 becomes 1, -1. And there we go. Let's try the next one. Notice again here, they're just asking for the inverse. And this x to the third graph is actually going to be something that looks kind of like this. This +2 right here is going to actually have me move my graph to the left 2 places. So I'm going to go left 2, and I'm going to put a dot right there. In order to graph this, we'll go up 1 and over 1, and then up 7 and over 1. Down 1 and over 1, and down 7 over 1. If you want to just approximate that, that's okay as well. And remember, if you need to figure out what a graph looks like, you could always go to Desmos.com to graph. And then you can get an idea of what the graph looks like. We'll take it to each of these points, name them, and then do the inverse. So this point right here at the top, 0, 8. This next one here, -1, 1. Then I have -2, 0. Followed by -3, -1. And finally, -4, -8. To graph your inverse, take each of those points and switch them around. So you will have 8, 0. You'll have 1, -1. You'll have 0, -2. You'll have -1, -3. And lastly, you'll have -8, -4. And you'll just connect these and make a little line. Again, it looks like it's been turned on its side. That's what most of them are going to look like. For the last one, you're going to start off by shifting your graph right 3 places and down 4 places. And every x squared graph is some sort of a parabola. So we'll go on the first graph, right 3 and down 4. And then to plot this, you'll use the 1, 3, 5 rule. Up 1 over 1, up 3 over 1, and up 5 over 1. Same thing on the other side until you get your U-shaped parabola. Once you have your original graph done, you can take each of these, name them. We'll start with this one over here on the left. This one's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 5. Then this point over here, 1, 0. Next point in line, 2, -3. The vertex of my parabola will be 1, 2, 3, -4. This point over here, 4, -3. This one is 5, 0. The last point, 6, 5. Then you come over to your other graph. You take each of these and you switch them around. So 0, 5 becomes 5, 0. 1, 0 becomes 0, 1. 2, -3 becomes -3, 2. 3, -4 becomes -4, 3. 4, -3 becomes -3, 4. 5, 0 becomes 0, 5. And 6, 5 becomes 5, 6. Again, you can see that the parabola looks like it's been tilted on its side. And there's your inverse.